President Trump hosting a group of tech leaders and regulators at the White House yesterday, including our next guest. Joining us right now from Washington is Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. Brian, it's great to see you. You were standing next to the president yesterday. He talked about a lot of things. I'm curious if there's anything that you picked up that he talked about either with you or the group that we didn't see on TV.
Hey, Andrew, good to see you. And the big topic of conversation, both at the live session and in the Oval Office, was about clarity. The Clarity Act is coming up for a big vote with the full Senate floor on September 15th. And it represents a lot of bipartisan work. The president was keen to mention that. And thousands of hours from the Senate and the House have gone into getting this to be bipartisan legislation. It's also a good bill for law enforcement to go protect against illicit activity. It's a good bill for the banks. It gives them 13 new powers to go grow their business. And it's good for the crypto companies. And most importantly, it's good for the 50 million or so Americans who own crypto. And so that's the big opportunity we have now to cement all of these changes that everyone's worked on in this administration and make sure it's durable for many decades into the future.
If you were to handicap it at this point, you say it's a winning vote at this point?
I'm pretty optimistic it'll get over 60 votes, and I think both sides got 90% or so of what they want, which, in any deal I've been a part of, that you say yes to that deal. Like any good negotiation, there's a few last-minute things people would want something a little bit more or less, but now it's really good that we have a deadline, September 15th, and I've got to give credit to Leader Thune, who scheduled that. There's a lot of competition for that floor time. There's a lot of competing interests. He would not have scheduled this on September 15th if he didn't think it would pass.
One of the other big issues, and I know you've been spending time and meeting with the SEC, as have been others, about the idea of tokenization and really the idea of what kind of exemptions the SEC could potentially put in place to encourage innovation, really in the absence of Congress passing any laws.
Yeah, well, you've got to give a lot of credit to Chair Atkins at the SEC and Chair Selig at the CFTC. They have made it very clear that they're going to continue to publish clear guidance and rules under their existing authority, regardless of what happens with the Clarity Act. So I think they're ready to move forward on that. They've actually, even just this week, the SEC put out new rules clarifying for the first time how crypto projects can go raise money that in the markets that are securities. That's something that we've been wanting for many years. I think the SEC is working on now an innovation exemption about how crypto securities could be traded in the U.S., which tokenized equities. Coinbase has been working hard on this, but we've so far only been able to do it offshore outside the U.S. In fact, we're launching our tokenized equities product next week out of Abu Dhabi for non-U.S. But in the U.S., we should be moving in this direction, too. Same thing with single stock equity perps. So there's lots of work that these regulators are doing, and they're going to create clarity regardless of what happens with the Clarity Act itself.
So Bitcoin bounced yesterday. Your stock also bounced yesterday. I'm curious how much you think that was a bounce off of the back, effectively, of the meeting that you had, or it was really off of the bounce. I don't know if it's a bounce, but really in reaction to what Scott Bessent did yesterday.
Yeah, well, I think those are both good theories. I'd like to think that people are reading the tea leaves a little bit on a few things regarding the Bitcoin price. One is that we've been in a bear market on spot crypto trading for the last year or so. And if you look at the prior bear markets, they each lasted about, 370, 380 days. We're basically coming right up against that, where people, they're going to say, well, this one's about over, and it's time for the next bull run in crypto. They're also looking at this September 15th vote for the Clarity Act. And then traditionally, following the Bitcoin halving cycles, like October, November, December, these tend to be good months for Bitcoin. So I think there's a good chance we're on the cusp of the next bull market for spot trading in crypto. But what's important is that in this bear market, Coinbase has really diversified its revenue. We're actually only about 12% of our revenue now comes from Bitcoin spot trading. The other things that have been growing in this down market for spot trading are things like crypto derivatives, prediction markets, stablecoin payments, tokenization of real-world assets like these stocks that I mentioned. And the big one that's on the horizon is what we call agentic finance, or AI-fi. That one is just getting started, but I think has potentially the biggest TAM, because there's going to be more AI agents than humans in not too distant future, and they're all going to have to, have an economy to get work done on our behalf.
I've got a maybe hard political question for you. This president has been very helpful to the crypto industry, and yet there have been all sorts of questions about the role of this president and the president's family as it relates to crypto. There was an op-ed in the New York Times recently that suggested that much of the conduct may be very well unconstitutional and illegal. And I'm curious whether you think that it represents a cloud over the industry, whether you would prefer, all things being equal, that the family not be involved in crypto, or maybe you do.
Yeah, so this is a complex subject that I know lots of people in the Senate are debating. And, one thing I would say is that the president and the White House have put an ethics offer on the table that could go into the Clarity Act. It requires, I think, moving his funds into a blind trust, or there's different variations of it that are being negotiated back and forth. But that's pretty unprecedented. I don't think there's any actually bill prior to this where the president has voluntarily offered something like that to go into the bill. So there's a real offer on the table. There's some things I know the Democrats would like that's even a little stronger. My understanding is that they're going to keep talking and work out some kind of a deal there. But I think the most important thing to recognize is that, yes, the ethics question is big. I'll defer to Congress and the White House and the president on how to solve that. But there's a lot of good stuff in this bill about consumer protection and how to reshore all this back into America. And so I think everyone kind of realizes the ethics part would be nice to have perfect in everyone's book, but the 90% of it, we should not leave the status quo and leave Americans unprotected as a morass of state legislation to operate in the U.S. That's just going to ensure this all goes offshore.
And then finally, Brian, you're in Washington today, but I imagine at some point you'll be flying back to Los Angeles, where I believe you live in California. And my question is whether, given all of the news and headlines about wealth taxes in California, we've been talking about Ro Khanna almost nonstop the past couple of days and some of the comments that he's made, whether you intend to stay there and what you think of all of this.
Yeah, so I think it's really unfortunate what's happening in California. I think we all pay our taxes on gains and our income, and then you have what's yours. And it's pretty unprecedented for someone to say, well, we're actually going to come tax you again and potentially seize your assets. And there's all these questions about how do you even value that? Now, there's one other piece which, if let's say there was just a higher tax in whatever form it arrives in, and I felt like it was going toward really productive outcomes like, educating people or healthcare. But the challenge is that we're now seeing there's a pretty high amount of fraud and waste and abuse in California. So I think it's a dangerous precedent to get into asset seizures. That's the kind of thing that third world countries do. It typically doesn't end well. Long way of saying I'm considering all options about relocating out of California before the end of the year. Nothing to announce yet on that front, but my hope is that cooler heads prevail in California.